Hello friends. The role of the Indian police in preserving order within a globally significant and diverse democracy has attracted critical attention. Despite its crucial role in maintaining the rule of law, it has developed a reputation for misconduct, corruption, and inadequate performance. Let us examine the historical development of the Indian police force and the influences on its character. We shall also look at the reforms aimed at enhancing citizen relations and professionalism and inherent structural weaknesses that require attention for modernization and accountability. Ancient texts, including Kautilya's Arthashastra around 4th century BCE, give details of a system of law enforcement involving officials designated as Dandikas and Nagar Shreshtis. The administration of these systems was decentralized and focused on village and city level management. Mughal era governance relied on officials such as kotwals and faujdars to uphold order. This system harmonized local traditions with centralized rule. Unlike modern policing, these systems operated informally and lacked a defined hierarchical structure. The British colonial regime formalized the modern Indian police system via the 1861 Police Act. In response to the 1857 uprising, the act sought to create a unified hierarchical military force answerable to the colonial government. The British envisioned the police not as a service-oriented organization but as a tool for controlling dissent, safeguarding trade routes, and securing resource extraction. The force was intentionally underfunded with inadequate compensation and training. This made it rely on the colonial administration entirely. This organizational structure valued loyalty more than accountability, so it did not enjoy public trust. Despite India's transition from colonial rule to a democracy in 1947, the Police Act of 1861 was retained with minor modifications. The Constitution established state control over law enforcement. Each state independently manages its police force subject to oversight by the Home Department. The Indian Police Service or IPS is an elite cadre selected via the UPSC or Union Public Service Commission. It was instituted to direct state police forces. However, its colonial structure remained. The historical emphasis on control rather than service endures. Several interconnected factors have contributed to the Indian police force's negative reputation. First factor is colonial legacy. The Police Act of 1861 established a police force whose accountability lay with the government, not the citizens. The hierarchical structure, compounded by a coercive culture, has endured till today. Naturally, people perceive the police as oppressors rather than protectors. A colonial emphasis on maintaining order at the expense of justice has created a lasting impression. People feel that police operate in the service of political objectives rather than the well-being of the public. Second factor is political interference. The police force's subordination to the political executive constitutes a major factor. According to the Second Administrative Reforms Commission of 2007, political manipulation of police appointments, transfers, and promotions is a major problem. Politics subverts professional standards and diminishes public confidence. Law enforcement officers face pressure to prioritize political allegiance over their sworn duty. The impartiality of police actions is often questioned during elections and times of communal tensions, leading to a decline in their credibility. Third factor is corruption. Pervasive political corruption is evident from petty bribery by constables to systemic malpractice among senior officials. The combination of low wages, poor working conditions, and insufficient monitoring breeds corruption. In a 2018 survey conducted across 22 states, over 75% of Indian respondents showed distrust in the police force, citing corruption as a principal factor. The prevalence of extortion, contrived legal proceedings, and criminal conspiracy supports this assessment. The fourth factor is inefficiency and understaffing. The Indian police suffer from persistent understaffing. The police to population ratio is roughly 154 officers per 100,000 citizens. This is lower than the United Nations recommended 222 officers per 100,000. States like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar experience critical understaffing with ratios below 100. The numerous tasks assigned to police, from upholding the law to VIP security and directing traffic, limit their capacity for comprehensive criminal investigations. Resource constraints and shortcomings in investigative practices contribute to a low conviction rate for crimes under the Indian Penal Code. Fifth factor is excesses and human rights violations. Reports of custodial violence, extrajudicial killings, and arbitrary detentions have tarnished the police's image. The National Human Rights Commission, or NHRC, has documented many cases of police misconduct, including torture and custodial deaths. The public's fear of approaching the police, coupled with the lack of accountability, perpetuates distrust. High-profile cases such as the 2020 Hathras gang rape and murder highlighted allegations of police inaction and cover-ups, further eroding public confidence. Sixth factor is lack of training and modernization. Current police training system concentrates on physical preparedness and fundamental policing. It neglects the development of expertise in forensic sciences, cybercrime investigation, and community interaction. The Comptroller and Auditor General, or CAG, report cites inadequacy in weapons training and outdated equipment, highlighting the use of obsolete firearms and communication technologies. The absence of modernization impedes operational efficiency, especially in the complex domains of cybercrime and terrorism. Seventh factor is public police disconnect. Public trust in law enforcement is demonstrably deficient. It is widely acknowledged that interactions with police are often frustrating, lengthy, and expensive. According to the Second Administrative Reforms Commission, the police are widely perceived as corrupt, inefficient, and subject to political influence. This undermines citizen crime reporting because of apprehension of harassment and retaliation. Efforts to align the Indian police force with democratic principles have spanned decades and involved many reforms. Commissions, courts, and state programs have worked together to improve professionalism and public trust in the police. The first reform attempt was National Police Commission between 1977 and 1981. The National Police Commission, in its post-emergency report, advocated for separating investigative and enforcement duties, fixed terms for senior police, and less political interference. The creation of a State Security Commission was proposed to supervise police work and guarantee its autonomy. Many recommendations were rejected, however, because of political opposition. Second attempt was made through the Prakash Singh judgment of 2006. The landmark Supreme Court decision in Prakash Singh versus Union of India mandated the implementation of 7 crucial police reforms by all states. State security commissions were established as part of these reforms. The judgment aimed at enhancing autonomy and accountability, but compliance has been patchy and with no state fully implementing all the directives. Third attempt was through Model Police Act of 2006. To modernize the 1861 Act, the Model Police Act, guided by Soli Sorabji's committee, focused on improving service, accountability, and human rights. Despite its adoption in 17 states, this model's implementation is inconsistent, with many regions retaining colonial practices. Fourth is community policing initiatives. Community policing programs have been adopted in various states to foster better police community relations. While Kerala's Janamatri Suraksha project emphasizes community involvement in crime prevention, Maharashtra's Mohalla committees create a space for police and residents to connect. Despite showing promise in improving police community relations, Tamil Nadu's Friends of Police and Andhra Pradesh's Maitri programs suffer from inconsistent implementation, hindering their success. Fifth attempt was or is through modernization efforts. Advanced weaponry, forensic labs, and cybercrime capabilities in police forces receive funding through the central government's MPF or Modernization of Police Force scheme. Artificial intelligence, data analytics, and community engagement are used by programs such as smart policing. However, states often fail to use these funds effectively. Sixth attempt is training and capacity building. Specialized training programs focusing on cybercrime, human rights, and gender issues have been adopted in various states. Progress on the Padmanabhaiah Committee's 2000 recommendation for a National Police Training Advisory Council to standardize curricula has been very slow. To improve capabilities, collaborative training programs are proposed for agencies such as the CBI and NIA. Seventh attempt is gender sensitization. To enhance its public image and accessibility, the police force should strive for the Padmanabhaiah Committee's recommended 33% female representation. States like Tamil Nadu have deployed all-female police stations. Delhi has created anti-eve teasing squad to combat gender-based crimes. The eighth attempt is through legislative reforms. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita, and Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam of 2023 are three new laws designed to update India's criminal justice system and improve police processes. The success of these measures depends on supportive structural reforms being in place. Even with these attempts, the advancement of reforms has been impeded because of political opposition that wants to keep police in control. The implementation is delayed. Progress has been hampered by bureaucratic inertia, lack of funds, and public apathy, creating a difficult situation for law enforcement agencies caught between established practices and current demands. A citizen-centric and professional Indian police force requires addressing these critical structural and systemic flaws. The first one is outdated legal framework. Across many regions, policing is based on the 1861 Police Act and its adaptations for individual states. Service, accountability, and human rights should be the focus of a new national police law patterned after the Model Police Act. This law must clearly define the political executive's role to prevent abuse. Second is understaffing and overburdening. We need more police per person to meet international standards. Police should focus on crime prevention and investigation by outsourcing non-core functions, including traffic management and court summons, to specialized agencies. Quality should be the priority in recruitment drives, achieved through merit-based selection and diverse representation. Third is political interference. State security commissions must have binding authority to prevent political pressure on the police as per Supreme Court mandate. Professionalism thrives with transparent appointment, transfer, and promotion processes under the watch of independent police establishment boards. The fourth is accountability mechanisms. To investigate police misconduct, the second Administrative Reforms Commission's recommendation of establishing independent police complaints authorities at state and district levels is very important. Body cameras recommended by the Prakash Singh guidelines improve transparency and prevent misconduct by the police. We need stronger internal oversight to quickly punish officers who break the rules. Fifth one is training and modernization. Modern police academies must incorporate forensic science, cybercrime, human rights, and soft skills such as conflict resolution into their training. Elevating standards is possible with regular in-service training, inter-agency collaboration, and criminology education incentives. To tackle emerging challenges, investment in forensic labs, cybercrime units, and communication networks is essential. This goes without saying. Sixth one is public trust deficit. Expanding community policing nationwide while adapting to local needs could boost public trust in the police force. It could also result from regular community engagement, targeted programs, and employing mental health professionals in police stations. Public perception may change because of awareness campaigns that highlight positive police interaction. The seventh one is corruption and work conditions. Competitive salaries, better housing, and mental health support can reduce corruption and burnout. High performance requires restructuring the hierarchy to allow lower ranks to achieve better advancement opportunities. Whistleblower protections and anti-corruption units could discourage unethical behavior. Now the eighth one is investigation quality. The NPC's suggestion to separate investigative and law enforcement functions would enable specialized units to concentrate on evidence-based inquiries. Better forensic resources and more effective legal training for officers will result in more convictions and less need for aggressive questioning. Ninth is gender and diversity. Inclusive policing may be facilitated by implementing diverse recruitment strategies and aiming for a 33% female representation target. To effectively address crimes against women and minorities, there is a need to expand gender-sensitive training programs and facilities, including all-women police stations. 10th is funding and resource allocation. To ensure modernization and effective recruitment within law enforcement, an increase in the current allocation of state expenditure is required. To ensure the effective use of central schemes, including the MPF, states should implement comprehensive oversight measures to prevent the diversion of funds. The Indian police force is at a critical juncture, grappling with its colonial past and modern difficulties while possessing significant potential to uphold democratic principles. The organization's negative image is because of fundamental structural deficiencies, undue political influence and interference, and a disconnect from society, all of which are reflected in past mismanagement and corruption. Although reforms, including the Prakash Singh judgment, community policing, and modernization schemes, have aimed to foster a citizen-friendly police environment, their impact has been constrained by resistance and incomplete implementation. To tackle police failings, we need a multi-pronged strategy. Laws should be updated. Accountability needs to be improved. Training and resources ought to be modernized. There should be better community ties for stronger public trust. These changes need strong political will, sustained funding, and consistent civil society involvement. Building a trustworthy Indian police force requires a dedication to transparency, professionalism, and public service. In case you have liked this video, please do like, subscribe, share, and comment.